Good evening. I hope everybody is doing well. Um, this evening, I will also be speaking about a little boy who went missing in Australia 10 years ago. Most likely, I think it's 11 by now. He was 3 years old when he went missing. Now, he was in foster care, so he was, and obviously, he was at his foster parents' families, as it be the foster grandmother, and suddenly disappeared. Now, there's all different theories of what's been going on with this little boy. Because a 3-year-old child would just, they would wonder, but they wouldn't obviously go away into the woods. And when you see where the foster dad was taking, I think it was, the gentleman was a news reporter, he was showing down to where the road was, and then there was woods. The child would have been found very quickly. And that, to me, there's something not quite right with this case, and I think something has went amiss. Maybe that something's happened to him, an accident, whatever. But obviously, it's in the Guardian, because obviously he went where he. But obviously, I'll tell you exactly where he went. It says William Tyrrell was an Australian boy who disappeared at the age of 3 from Kendal, New South Wales, on the 12th of September 2014. Now this is 2025. He'd been playing at his foster grandparents' house with his sister and was wearing a Spider-Man suit at the time of his disappearance. Now, there's other stories that the grandma was watching, but never mention any of the sister. So I don't know where that came from with the sister. I mean, could have been mentioned in other things. See, this is where, if you want to tell porcupines, make sure you tell them properly. And this is where they obviously get caught out. But as the fact is, this wasn't their child. This is somebody else's child, and they went into foster care. And seemingly the foster parents, well, the foster mum wasn't a nice person, and it was seen that William Tyrrell's foster mother could be charged over his 2014 disappearance. I do hope they find him. Now, they're trying to say he maybe fell from the balcony from the house, the grandmother's house, and which could easily happen. As I said, this could have been an accident, and they've covered it up. Because obviously the wee boy's in foster care. So when children are in foster care, it's not just the parents that get watched when they've got their children. Foster parents get watched even more so. But see, when you're a foster parent, you get all sorts of money. All sorts of money for every child you get. You get more. I mean, if any, I don't know, I understand. If you're in the UK, you get a thing called child benefit. Now, these foster parents get more money than what a parent would on benefits, or if they're working. So they do get a lot of money. It's not as if they don't. They do. So it's some people go into it for like complete and utter wrong reasons. So it says investigators subsequently asked the DPP to suspend their consideration of the case until after further hearings of the long-running coroner's inquest into the toddler's disappearance and presumed death. The wee boy's obviously is now presumed dead. It's 2025. That was 2014. Now, that's a long time. And obviously, they've maybe found some evidence, and obviously, the police, as usual, won't obviously give you full information, especially when they're zooming in on a suspect. But something doesn't sit right. I mean, it's like, rather with the mum, why did she phone the dad first and not the police or an ambulance or something like that? Something, they're saying about running away out of the place. Something does not sit right with this case. Now, it's like, it reminds me sort of like Madeleine McCann case and things like that. You know, when a parent, or you get that feeling when a parent is telling a lie. And obviously, and these weren't even wee boy's parents. This is not even blood. That's a fact. The thing that, see, my heart goes out to the actually biological parents of these children. And these foster parents should never, ever, ever, ever be foster parents. Now, I'm going to tell you something. My kids get taken from me in 2013 because I was in abusive relationships. And the time I came out, I got the courage to come out of the relationship. I obviously failed my kids, but I'd lost my mum. And the year after that, I lost my granda from my dad's side, obviously his dad. So it's me thinking I was coping. I wasn't. And I fought them, and guess what? I won every one of them back. But yeah, it's not that, and it's one of the foster parents were very nasty to one of my children. Well, and that two of them, in fact, not. I'm going to say 2 or 3. Because it's like they're supposed to look after the kids. One of my sons went missing, got found on another foster parent's house, and obviously the kids that she had were removed immediately, because obviously the way she was treating them. So, and obviously my 2 youngest were another foster carer, and it was like the way they were treated. She would shout at them if they weren't sitting right or eating right, or it's like really bad. And then another one, she wasn't as bad as obviously she couldn't cope with my son, because my kids have got autism. I mean, some of them were more worse than the other ones. So obviously, if you're not trained to deal with that sort of thing, then you're not going to be able to cope. But she ended up in the end actually started helping me when my kids home. So I do thank her for that, because it was because social work will lie in paperwork to make, because every time a social work takes a child, they get paid a wee bit extra money, and if they get them adopted out, they get a bonus. So a lot of them say, "Oh no, we don't. No, we don't want to know," but they actually do. Believe me, they do. They do. But it's the fact is, so I'm not saying anyway. I mean, in my case, I had to actually sit and get my self-help for depression and things like that, and do meditation, and I went to classes and things like that to make sure I could be a better parent. Because sometimes as a parents, yeah, of course it's a struggle, of course it is, but obviously we've got to admit defeat and say, right, I need help. I mean, there's some parents that don't deserve their children, but there's but the fact is, I mean, I don't know the situation that wee boy and his sister's biological parents and the reason behind and why they end up in foster care. But as the fact is, that wee boy has never been found for 2014. And obviously it looks as if there's roaming in the mum, that foster parent mum. But I have watched again Deception Detective, and he's very good at what he does. As I said, he's a lawyer, so he obviously knows what he's talking about. And he obviously detects when they're telling lies and things like that. But obviously I think police were covering some things up. But obviously I think a lot of police obviously got to do. Can't tell you too much because it would thing of the case. But the fact is, it's took this long. But it seems to be a big case in Australia. It's the fact that it's not been found. There's no body been found at all. Not a trace. This boy, a 3-year-old boy, is just disappeared, just off the face of the earth. It's like, something dodgy has went on, and it's like, I think it's like questions need to be answered, and so I hope and I pray that the answers are found, and that wee boy his body is found, because see, the thing with liars and things like that, they crack eventually, and these parents will crack. I mean, it's been taking this long, but it's obviously, if the police are on their back continuously, they will crack. Somebody will crack in that family. So, keep sharing, keep finding out, let's find out what's going on. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this case and update whenever I can. So, let's send prayers to William Tyrrell's sister and the biological parents and his actual real grandparents and things like that. Send them condolences and things like that, and support them in getting justice for little William. So, sending love and light, and good night.